What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me. My name is Dr. Tom LaHue, and we're going to be talking about type 8s today. And we're going to be looking at Beatrice Chestnut's book, The Enneagram Guide to Waking Up. And in that book, she talks about several key patterns of type 8s. And today we're going to be looking at what she mentions when she says 8s tend to operate at a high level of intensity. So, how does that sound to you? Does that sound accurate? Have you ever thought of yourself as an intense person? You probably think of yourself as normal. Maybe you've gotten that response from other people like, oh my goodness, can you calm it down? Oh my goodness, you're too much. Oh my goodness, settle down. So do you think of yourself as a high intensity person, or do you think of yourself as a person that likes things that are intense? For example, if you were to decide to go on an exercise routine, are you okay with moderation, or do you tend to jump in all the way 100%? We're doing this every day, 5 hours a day. We're only eating rice and oatmeal. We're only eating chicken breast. Can you do things in moderation, or do you tend to jump and throw yourself all the way in super intense? So let's see what she says and let's interact with the information. She says, it may be hard for you to be balanced, cautious, and discreet. Are those words that define you? Balanced, cautious, and discreet? Or are those difficult things for you to find in life? Do you tend to be not so balanced, not so discreet? Because your natural tendency is to act from impulse and to exaggerate and to become excessive or unrestrained. How do you like those words? Excessive and unrestrained. Now, I can appreciate that, but I'm not sure that everybody is going to appreciate that. Excessive and unrestrained. Do you have a tendency towards a little bit of gluttony? Like, do you get on a kick and you like ice cream, and then you want to eat the whole tub of ice cream, the whole bucket of ice cream? Do you find yourself not able to go to all-you-can-eat buffets because of what you might do? Taking your desire to have a good deal and get as much as you can out of life to extremes to the point that it's unhealthy. Let me read that line again, because I thought it was interesting how she said it. Your tendency to become excessive or unrestrained. Are you able to restrain yourself? And I imagine that you probably are very aware of how much you do restrain yourself. How do you feel when other people try to restrain you, or when other people are looking at you like you should be more restrained? Does that just invoke a sense of, they're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to eat twice as much as I originally planned? Okay, she says you get intense when doing things or expressing yourself, and may tend to adopt a sort of all or nothing approach to life. All in 100%, or I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Do you binge watch television shows, for example? All or nothing. I'm going to start Walking Dead, and then you'd like to take 2 weeks off and just watch the entire series, watch the entire show. All or nothing approach to life. How does that work for you? Does that work for you? Does it ever cause problems for you? This all or nothing approach to relationships, for example, or to your work. What if you're not in an all mode right now at work? Then are you in a nothing mode? Is it hard to even show up? Do you just want to burn this place to the ground? Or are you able to sort of operate in that medium place at all of staying engaged, staying productive, while not necessarily feeling passionate about things? Is that difficult for you? She says, notice if moderation, tough word, notice if moderation comes hard for you and you get more passionate or extreme than other people. Tend to show more passion or completely disconnect, one or the other, without understanding where this intensity comes from or what purpose it serves. Explore your relationship to intensity and ask yourself, what would life bring you if you were less intense? Or if you could do things with moderation. I would guess that things like being able to persevere or endure or to just continue on might become a little bit easier if I didn't need to run on high all the time or run at level 10 all the time. So, does it have to be 10 or 0? Could it be 9 or 1? Could it be 6 and 4? Could you live somewhere in this middle place? Because a lot of life is kind of done in this middle place, not in extremes. Like, can you be involved in politics without, becoming overly passionate about politics, or just withdrawing and saying it's all a bunch of rubbish, it's all rigged, could you just be moderately involved in your church? Could you be moderately involved in your meetings at work? Or does everything have to be one way or the other, intense or disconnected and detached? It's good when you're intense. I mean, it can be a really good thing to get other people fired up and to get passionate about things and to live with passion. It's just, not every relationship is going to be passionate all the time. And you're not always going to feel passionate about the job that you're in. Can you just endure through those less passionate times, kind of like a roller coaster, knowing that eventually you're going to get back to a peak, but you can't operate at peak all the time, or at least I can't. And I imagine that you can't either, unless you truly are a superhero and not just, known as a superhero in your world. All right, guys, I think it's interesting, and I hope it's helpful for you to take that advice for what it is and say, okay, maybe I could show up in a little less way sometimes. Maybe I don't need to raise the intensity. Maybe I don't need to live at this high volume all the time. I don't, have to deep dive or jump in always or disconnect. Maybe I could just enjoy things with a little bit more balance and moderation in my life. Let me read that line one last time. You tend to become excessive, or you tend to get excessive or unrestrained. Unrestrained. That sounds like an 8. Take care, guys. I'll see you next time.